So in order to modify the pump controller card to make it control steering motors and a main drive motor, I needed to make it have a reversible direction. So I've hooked up these 4 FETs in a H-bridge configuration. I replaced these 2 FETs here with P channel FETs, and these 2 are N channel FETs to get the H-bridge configuration. Also, because the P channel FETs turn off with about 2 volts between the source and the gate, I needed to get the power supply to be within 2 volts of the logic output from the controller chip. So that the controller chip is only outputting 3.3 volts. So the power supply needed to be 2 volts above that, which would be 5.3. But I actually found that the gate was turning on the FET a bit early, so I needed to drop the voltage down below 4.7 volts, because these FETs are normally supplied with a 5-volt power supply. So I put a diode in here to just drive the 2 P channel FETs, creating about 4.3 to 4.5 volts, which is perfect. They turn off fine with that voltage and the 3.3 volts high signal from the logic chip. And of course they turn on quite well when this thing goes to 0. So I had to put a little card on the output here to add in these diodes which control the speed of the main drive motor. Those things, as we switch between the various FETs, more and more diodes are used, or fewer and fewer diodes are in series with the power. So when there's 3 diodes in series, we have a fairly low speed. When there's only 2, it speeds up. When there's only 1, it speeds up. And when there's no diodes in the 4th position, it's going full speed. So that's how this has been modified. Fortunately, it wasn't too much of a cut and paste job. So here I had to cut a trace, and I had to bring that diode into the power for these 2 FETs here. But there was already a through hole here which I could mount the diode to. So now that this card is working, I can proceed to mount it in the chassis. Okay, I've modified my pump controller card, which was meant to control 8 pumps, to allow it to control the steering and the main drive motor. So 4 of these outputs are hooked up as an H bridge, so that I can get a reversing steering control, and the other 4 are hooked up to allow me to get 4 different speeds on the main drive motor. So let's turn that on. This computer is running a little program which does a little back and forth steering, and then it does and then it runs through the various 4 speeds. So now we have control over the steering and the main drive motor speed under computer control. So that's a big step. Now I've got to get the main chassis printed and install all this stuff.